All right, guys, I appreciate you coming to the class today. I'm Jesse Allen. I'm the Director of Sales for the Howard Group here at Keller Williams, and this is our inside sales agent, Lauren Miller. I asked him to come along and teach the class with me so that you can hear different perspectives and how people talk to for-sale owners and expires. So we'll just jump right into it. So the first thing that we have here is, what is the #1 goal when we call a FSBO? And I know most people watching this are going to say, oh, it's to get the listing. And I would disagree with you strongly. The very first thing that we want to do is get the appointment. That's the main thing that we're focused on at this time. And the reason that is because we haven't given them enough value to say that they're going to list their home with us. Next thing is, when you're at the appointment, once you get that, what's the #1 goal? Then you can say, yes, the #1 goal is to get the listing. So too many times we focus on getting the listing and not the appointment. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely, and I've made that mistake.
Yeah, and so we've kind of changed the way that we do our scripts, so where we can get in the door and then we handle the objections that way. And we went from saying, 1 to 2 appointments a week to saying 10 to 12 appointments a week just by doing that. And a lot of those appointments do turn into listings. So the first thing we do is we want to tackle the main objections first. So what are they? So do you want to go through the 4 main objections that I had on here?
Sure. So the first main objection would be commission. And the second would be not in a hurry. You hear people that are just like, well, I just want to, put it out there and see what I'll get. The third one is don't need an agent because they think they can do it on their own. And the fourth is I have a family or a friend or a family member who's an agent. You get that a whole lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So if there's any other objections that you guys can think of, feel free to email me and we can talk about how you would handle those as well. But these are the 4 main objections that we see all the time in the business. So once they give you the objection, what's the next thing that we do? It's not to handle the objection immediately. We want to isolate that objection. And what do I mean by isolate that objection? I just mean that we're going to have a phrase or a sentence that we say where outside of that, there's nothing else holding them back from doing what we want them to do. So what we say is, other than blank, is there any reason that you wouldn't meet or list with me today? So if we are trying to get the appointment, is there any other reason you wouldn't meet with me today? So if we jump right into it, so we can go ahead and run this script and see how it sounds. So it'll be ring.
Hello.
Hey, is this Lauren?
Yeah, this is.
Hey, Lauren, this is Jesse Allen over here at Keller Williams. How are you, sir?
All right, how about you?
I'm doing fantastic, buddy. Hey, I'm reaching out to you today. Just want to jump right into it. I'm a professional agent. Wanted to see how long you're looking to sell your home on your own before you hire a professional agent.
Well, I'm not really, I'm not really too worried about. I think we could sell on our own, and I'm not worried about selling quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what is it that's really holding you back from hiring an agent right now?
Well, like I said, I don't feel like I need to use an agent.
Okay.
We've done this before, and we were pretty successful at it. So.
Yeah. Okay. So other than the idea that you don't need an agent, is there any other reason that you wouldn't meet with me today so that we can talk about what we have to offer?
No,
Okay.
not necessarily.
And so that's what we mean. So if you ask them, what's the objection? And they say, oh, we just don't want to pay a commission. You'll get that one wrong. Okay, great. I completely understand. Other than commission, is there any reason that you wouldn't meet with me today? Well, yeah, other than this. Okay, well, now you have another objection. And the great thing is after you handle these objections, you already know what the main issue is. You can tackle them. You can go into detail about what it is about the objection that they don't like. And that's actually going to take us into our next phase here. So after we handle the objection, how do we handle the objection is the question I have here. So find out what the objection really is and what they have an issue with. And so what I mean by that, for example, if they say commission, they may not mind the amount of commission being paid, but they don't fully understand the value of having an agent and what they do. And so a lot of people say commission. Well, what is it about commission that worries you? Is it the amount? Is it you don't really understand where it goes? And so many people have that issue. Another one of the objections that we have on here is I'm not in a hurry. Everybody may say they're not in a hurry, but everyone would like to maximize their profits. And after all, that's why they're listing FSBO to start with. And you have to believe that there's not a better time to buy and sell than there is right now, because people can really sense uncertainty. And that's one thing that we talk about all the time when we're scripting is you have to believe everything that you say, because if you come off as though you're uncertain or you're a little iffy or you don't really believe the words that are coming out of your mouth, sorry, that kind of reminded me of like you read a word? Can you understand the words coming out of my mouth? Sorry, got distracted. Yeah, so know why they say it and believe it. So if we say there's not a better time to buy and sell right now, what would that reason be? So Lauren, if I ask you, there's not a better time to buy or sell right now, what would your answer be?
You mean as a
No, like why is that? Like why is there not a better time to buy or sell right now?
Well, I mean, it's definitely, a seller's market because, you've got all these buyers. A house is going to sell, it's going to sell for top dollar. In terms of, buying a property, it's just a question of, it's kind of a trade-off, I think, honestly. It's kind of like, if you're going to sell a property, you're going to get something that's kind of, comparable in terms of price.
Yeah, so I would agree. So I tell them all the time, there's not a better time to sell than right now because the amount of buyers that are looking is astronomical and homes are flying off the market. I really tread lightly when I talk about how hot the market is because I don't want FSBO to understand that they could potentially just put it on Zillow and sell it because it pops up quickly. What does it say here? Okay, and so if I tell somebody, hey, the market's super hot right now, homes are just flying off the market. In their mind, they're thinking, okay, well, I don't need an agent because homes are flying off the market. I can sell it too. So be really careful whenever you talk about the market and how hot it is at the current time. When we're talking about buyers, yes, homes are flying off the market or homes are going for top dollar right now. And whenever you're buying a home, interest rates are lower than they've ever been in the history of interest rates. And so I see people that are locking in interest rates between 2.5% and 3% right now, which is crazy unheard of. And so knowing that you can get top dollar out of your home and you can go buy a better home or you can downsize, but you can get a lower interest rate so you have a lower payment, that's a huge value proposition to most sellers and buyers. The next objection that we have on here is I have a friend or a family member who is an agent. Everyone knows an agent. So there's over 1,200 real estate brokers in Southern Indiana alone. Everyone is going to know someone. So the one thing that we do, we just let them know at the end of the day that it's about them and their family. It's not about the friend or family member that you want to use. The friend or family member may be somebody that does it as a hobby and only sells 1 to 2 homes a year. We've always expressed that anybody that sells 1 or 2 homes a year or does anything 1 or 2 times a year, I wouldn't consider that a professional because you're never going to be great at doing something only 1 or 2 times a year. If you're going to run 1 or 2 times a year, are you going to be able to run full? Probably not. Same thing with anything. So, and we use examples of times that it makes sense to use someone else over a friend or a family member. So one of the examples that I would use would be if you're looking for a cleaning service and your friend or family is going to charge $200, but you have a professional company that's going to do it for $180 or $190. They'll also do it for $200, but they give you a list of things that they'll do for it. Which one are you likely to use? Well, if you're listing for sale by owner, you're thinking about saving money or you're thinking about getting the most value for your money. And so that's where that would come into effect. And just use different examples of that to show that. Lauren, anything that you would add on any of these as far as the FSBOs are concerned?
Well, I like to point out with commission, and I try to do it in as little few words as possible, is that in many cases, you can net the same amount of money or even more by using an agent.
Yeah.
I think is true. And so if that's an objection, and commission is connected to the objection of don't need an agent. Because why is it that people say, well, I don't need an agent? Why wouldn't you want to be covered by errors and omissions insurance? Why would you want to have somebody do the marketing and all the paperwork? And those are ways of dealing with that as well, not using an agent, but of course, it's almost always connected to commission. If somebody thinks that they can do it on their own, so you can always go back to, well, you're probably going to net the same amount or more if you use me. Like after your commissions are done, after that's paid, you're going to end up with the same amount of money or more.
Yeah.
You're going to sell it quicker. It may even make more. You should sell it quicker.
And people ask all the time, well, how can you do that? How do you have the ability to sell a home more than what I'm selling it for? And that's a great question, and people want to know that. And it comes down to exposure and really liability and just expertise in general. So I always use the example of a used car. If Warren's selling a 2000 Honda Civic and he wants $1,000 for it, if you went and bought that 2000 Honda Civic at a professional car dealership, you're probably going to pay $2,000 or $2,500 for it. Which one are you more comfortable buying from? Are you more comfortable buying from Lauren, who's selling his car for sale by owner, where there's no guarantee, there's no, nobody checked over it. It's just him saying, yep, the car's good, you're good to go, and then it's got a clean title and you move on. Or are you more comfortable going to the car dealership where, yes, you pay more, but you also had somebody who did, you know, what is it, a 21-point inspection or a 100-point inspection, whatever the inspection is. But they go over the vehicle, they check everything, and they make sure that it's good to go. Same thing with real estate. We have the ability to sell it for more because buyers are more comfortable buying from an agent than they are buying for sale by owner. And it's proven because, I think, what is it, 85% of clients use an agent right now. So at least 15% of the market that's out there looking for a for sale by owner that doesn't have an agent. So, do you want to run one of the scripts so they can see like how you would handle it and how you would get an appointment?
Sure. Are we doing FSBOs or?
We'll do FSBOs right now. Yeah, we'll stick on that for a minute.
All right. Ring.
Hello.
Hey, this is Jesse.
Yes, it is.
Hey, Jesse. This is Lauren, and I'm a realtor with Keller Williams. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Lauren. How are you, buddy?
I'm great. Thanks for asking me. So the reason why I was calling is I believe you have a home on Main Street, and you know you're selling that on your own. Is that correct?
That is correct.
If you don't mind me asking, why are you selling it on your own instead of using an agent?
Honestly, you know, like we're just trying to save the money on commission. You know, it's just a lot of money.
I understand. How long are you looking to sell it on your own before you maybe talk to an agent?
You know, like if it doesn't sell, maybe in, you know, 30, 45 days, you know, we might consider that. But, you know, as of right now, I think we're good.
Okay. Well, let me ask you, you know, sorry. Let me ask you, since you mentioned commission, if you know, oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
All right.
No. So the first thing would be isolate the objection. So
that's what I should have done
yeah.
instead of going into time.
No, you're fine. So other than commission, is there any reason that you wouldn't?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. That's what I was searching for.
Yeah.
So other than commission, is there any reason you wouldn't list the home today?
No, that's like the big thing. That's what was back.
Okay. So if we could show you how you could get the same amount of money even after commission, you know, net the same amount, or even possibly more, would you be willing to meet with us today for maybe 10 or 15 minutes to talk about it?
How are you going to do that?
Well, we just come by and, you know, basically, you know, do a comparative market analysis, or, you know, get an idea of what the home would sell for, and then, you know, just determine, you know, what the you know, how much percentage of commission is going to be. And, you know, usually in most cases, what we can do is we can net you the same amount or even more money after commission.
Okay.
Just, you know, kind of meet and go over that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you see how he just felt confident in what he's saying. He isolated the objection, and then we talk about the objection. So other than commission, is there a reason that you wouldn't list with me today? Or other than commission, is there a reason you wouldn't meet with me today? So no, not really. That's my biggest objection. Okay, great. If we could show you how commission is no longer an issue, would you meet with us today for 10 or 15 minutes? But yeah, because commission is my biggest issue. Ask them what they want and then give them what they want. It's the most basic thing in sales, and people struggle with that. They try to focus too much on themselves and not enough on the other person. And so just remember that as you're going forward. I think it's Zig Ziglar that says, if you give enough people what they want, you'll naturally get what you want. So just keep that in mind whenever you're calling these people. All right, so that's all we have for FSBOs. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat or email me. Happy to go over those for you. Or if you guys want to script practice any of that and see how that would go, we're happy to help with that as well. Next one we have on here is expireds. So expired is someone who's had their home on the market for quite some time and just didn't sell. So most of the time they don't have an answer of why it didn't sell, or they have no idea. And so we'll go through that. So again, what's the number one objective when we're calling expireds? It's to get the appointment. So too many times we call expireds and we ask them if we can list their home. You haven't given them a reason to list their home with you yet. You haven't earned that right to ask for the business. So we simply just want to get in the door because what is it? 3 out of 4 sellers will list with the first agent that they meet. And so be the first one in the door. And again, what is the first objective once you're at the appointment? Then you can ask for the business. It's to get the listing. So we tackle the main objections first, just like we do in FSBOs. And so we'll go over there. So what are they? Big ones that we hear are, I'm using the same agent again. Next one would be, I'm taking it off the market. Another one would be, I'm going to sell FSBO, which is an easy objection to handle because we just went over that. So we already know how to tackle those objections. And then the last one would be, we're going to do some updates. So again, after they give you the objection, isolate the objection. If it made sense not to blank, is there a reason you wouldn't meet with me today? So for example, if it made sense not to use the same agent again, would you meet with me today? If it made sense for you not to sell FSBO, would you meet with me today? If I could show you a proven way where it didn't make sense for you to do that, would you meet with me? And then we'll go into the objection. So the number one question you can ask with any objection if you get stuck, because a lot of people, they call FSBOs and expires, and they just get tongue-tied. They don't really know what comes next. If you get stuck and you don't know how to answer somebody's question, or you don't know how to handle somebody's objection, just ask them the question, why? So, I don't really want to pay a commission. Great, why? I want to use a friend or a family member. Great, why? Simply asking that question will get you to the next step and allow you to think about what you want to handle. So for example, I put, like I'm using the same agent again, why? I'm taking it off the market, great, why? And then you just go through all of those. Once you ask the question why, you will get down to the root of the actual objection. So if you told me, hey, what's the reason that you're looking to sell it on your own? And you say commission. And I say, great, why is commission important to you? What would be your answer?
Because I want to save money. I'm cheap, the skin flint, and I want to save as much money as I can.
Yeah, absolutely. So if I could show you a way where that would no longer be an issue, would there be a reason you wouldn't listen with me today?
No.
Okay, great. That's the reason we need to meet for 10 or 15 minutes. Get in the door. That's the main thing that you want to do. All right. So we're going to talk about different ways to handle objections. So the first objection we have is I'm going to use the same agent again. I feel like this is the easiest objection to handle because you're already ahead of the other agent. It doesn't make any sense to use somebody who has proven to you that they can't get the job done. And I know that that's blunt, but at the end of the day, if you've given somebody 6 months to a year to sell your home and they haven't done it, what makes you think that they're going to do it in the next 6 months to a year? Now, finding a way to get that across to a seller who's clearly probably frustrated because their home hasn't sold, and they're thinking about using the same agent, why would they want to use the same agent? And that's a great question to ask them. So if we went into it and we went ahead and scripted it, and all right, so we'll go ring.
Hello.
Hey, is this Lauren?
Yeah, this is Lauren.
Hey, Lauren, this is Jesse Allen over here at Keller Williams Realty. How are you, sir?
I'm all right, Jesse.
Well, I'm giving you a call. I saw that your house came off the market and it did sell. I just wanted to see, are you still looking to sell that property?
Yeah, I'm still looking to sell it.
Okay. And then how soon are you looking to sell that property?
I'm not in a huge rush.
Okay. And are you open to meeting with me for maybe 10 or 15 minutes?
Well, I don't think so. I think we're going to go with the same agent.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Why would you use the same agent?
Well, he's really treated us well in the past. I think he's very, very honest and he's got a lot of integrity.
Yeah, I understand that. That's what we hear from a lot of people. Like they have a friend or a family member that has listed their home, and so they just feel committed to that person. And what I always say is, it's about you and your family at the end of the day, and so it's not about the agent that you listed with before. And so my question would be, don't you deserve to at least get a second opinion to see what else is out there? Because at the end of the day, if it can support you and your family and can help you guys get where you want to go, it just naturally makes sense. Would you agree?
Well, I wouldn't be opposed to a second opinion.
Yeah, that's fine. So all I'm asking is for 10 or 15 minutes of your time where we can meet face to face and talk about what we can do to help you.
I don't see any harm in that.
So, and you just go into that. So, anything that you would have changed about the script?
Maybe just shorter. I always try to boil things down to the smallest number. And I'm bad about, it's partially because I'm very wordy. Anybody that knows me knows that sometimes I add more words than I need to anything. So it's, maybe what I like to do with any script is I like to have an idea ahead of time how I can boil the language down to the smallest number of words.
Yeah. And so, because we have all the knowledge in our head of why the market is hot. We have all the knowledge in our head of why it's the best time to sell, why it's the best time to buy, or why you shouldn't list FSBO. And the problem is we don't know how to relay that message in the simplest form, because although it sounds simple to us, we just blurt all that stuff out, and by the time that you finish, they've already shut their ears off. So keep it as simple as you possibly can and break it down into terms that they would understand. The next one would be, I'm taking it off the market. So do you want to handle this objection, or do you want me to?
I'm taking it off the market. Yeah, I want you to handle it.
Okay, no, it's fine. So,
I have to think about that.
Yeah. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, is this Lauren?
Yeah.
Hey, Lauren, this is Jesse over here at Keller Williams Realty. How are you, sir?
I'm all right. How are you, Jesse?
I'm doing fantastic. Hey, I'm giving you a call. I saw that your home came off the market. I'm sure you're getting a few calls today, and I just wanted to see, are you thinking about listing the home again?
No, not really. I don't think so. I think we've decided to just keep it right
Yeah, very interesting. So why are you thinking about keeping the home? Why are you taking it off the market?
Well, I think maybe we're buying a house. We're having a house built.
Yeah.
And I think what we're going to do is we're going to let our daughter and her husband move in.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So, that's nice of you guys to be able to do that. Why do you think your house didn't sell the first time?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't really understand that, to tell you the truth. Maybe, maybe there's some updates that it needs. Maybe it's a little bit dated.
Okay. So, and I'm guessing that you guys probably have a mortgage on the property.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so, what's the plan with the mortgage? Are they buying the property from you, or are they going to take over the mortgage? Have you thought about that?
Well, they might at some point. We're going to kind of leave that open.
Okay. So, if you had that money that you're going to get from selling your home, what are you going to do with it?
Well, I think I would have just put it down in a house.
Okay. And so you have a lower house payment on that end. So is that something that you might still be interested in? Because you were interested in it as of probably 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. And so would it be okay if we just met for maybe 10 or 15 minutes just so we can talk about it and see if it'd be a win-win? And if not, I understand, and I'll do everything I can to help you. But at least want to get 10 or 15 minutes of your time to see if I can help.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like if we were gonna use an agent, we'd probably go with the guy that we had before.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you would just go into handling that same objection. So again, like we just make it about him the entire time. It's never about me. It's always about him. So hey, I completely understand, and hey, I can appreciate that. And then you just go into handling the objections. And at the end of the day, understand you're not going to take care of everybody. You're not going to get every FSBO. You're not going to get every expired. You'll have situations come up that it literally just doesn't make sense for you to be part of the process, and you have to be okay with that. So for example, like him, like he has his daughter and son-in-law that were going to move into the property. If they were going to buy the property, I could handle the transaction for them, but I wouldn't feel good about taking 6% or 7% from a seller knowing that I didn't contribute to the sale of their home. So I wouldn't be paid for my services. I don't want to be paid just because I'm an agent. The next one we had on here was I'm going to sell FSBO. Easy objection. You can just listen to the beginning of this video to tell you how to handle all of those objections. And the last one is we're going to do some updates. So this is a fairly easy objection to handle, at least to get the appointment. And we'll show you how we handle that one. So ring ring.
Hello.
Hey, is this Lauren?
Yeah.
Hey Lauren, this is Jesse Allen over here at Keller Williams. How are you today, sir?
I'm all right. How about you, Jesse?
Doing fantastic. So, hey, I just had a question for you. I saw your house came off the market, and I wanted to see what's going on over there.
Well, I think, it didn't sell because, it's, like the basement's got some issues, and we just decided to do some updates and some improvements for a little while.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you thought about what those updates might be?
Well, for one thing, we got a really leaky basement, so we're getting that waterproof.
That's smart.
We had some damage to some of so we got a finished basement, mostly finished. And so there was some damage to the drywall, and we're going to get that replaced.
Okay. Do you have any contacts for people that are going to do that work for you?
Oh yeah,
we have a long list of people that have helped us in the past that might be a great resource for you.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay.
I might maybe take that list of contacts though, just so I can do some pricing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll email it over to you. What's a good email for you?
That'd be Lauren@gmail.
Okay. And then anything else that you're going to be updating on your property?
Yeah, I think maybe we might just remodel the kitchen.
Okay.
It's pretty dated, even upstairs. I'm not gonna lie. And,
yeah.
It was built in the late '60s, and it's got that kind of late '60s feel to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, have you thought about like what that renovation is going to cost you?
I think maybe around $5,000 or $6,000.
$5,000 or $6,000. Yeah. Okay. So, well, what I'd love to do, yeah. Well, what I'd love to do is at least I'd love to come by and take a look at the property and the condition that it's in, and see if it even makes sense for you to do those updates.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Because if you do $5,000 or $10,000 in updates, it's only going to increase the purchase price $1,000 or $2,000. It doesn't really make sense to do those updates. So I just want to make sure that if you're going to put money into your house, you're putting it into the right areas.
Mm-hmm.
So when would be a good time for us to meet?
Oh well, I'm home on Saturday afternoons usually. Just kind of tinkering around in the garage.
Yeah, absolutely. So then you would just go into setting the appointment. So again, it was never about me. It was always about him. So he's going to waterproof the basement. Okay, great. I have a list of contacts I want to help you with. And then I want to update the kitchen. Okay, great. Let me walk through and at least see like what updates you're going to do so we can allocate that money to where it needs to go. So it always needs to be about the person you're talking to and never about you. And again, we say like, if you give enough people what they want, you will naturally get what you want. So that's all the objections that we have. I don't want that to go without saying that you can do all these objection handlers all day long, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to follow-up. And if you're not doing the follow-up with the people that you're calling, you're not going to get the business. Because you may not get the appointment on the very first call. You may not get it on the second call, the third call. It may be somebody that you have to nurture for a month, month and a half. And so the way that we do that is we call them every Monday and we ask them how the showings were over the weekend and what they have planned for the week, how everything's going, if there's anything that I can do for you. So we'll go ahead and script that real quick. So this would be a FSBO that we've already had a conversation with, and it's Monday morning. So ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Lauren, it's Jesse Allen over here at Keller Williams. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. Hey, just checking in with you. Wanted to see how the showings went over the weekend.
We have about 5 or 6 showings. A couple people sound like they're interested, maybe.
Very cool. Any offers on the table yet?
Not yet, but I think one might be coming.
Okay.
It's hard to say for sure.
Yeah. Well, when you get that offer, you know, if you want to send it over to me, I'd be happy to look over that for you just to make sure there's nothing hidden in there. That way you're taken care of, protected. How would that sound?
We'll consider that.
Okay. So do you have any other showings set up for this week?
2 or 3 Wednesday and Thursday, I believe.
Okay. Well, you know, I'd love to sit down with you. You know, I'd love to earn your business, but yeah, it sounds like you have an offer coming in. I understand. But is there anything I can do for you right now?
Well, I can't think of anything at the moment.
Okay. Well, I'll follow up with you later in the week to see how that offer came in and see how everything's going, and we'll go from there.
That'd be fun.
All right. Thanks, Lauren. And so, again, let him know that, hey, I would love to get the business. I'd love to earn your business. Coming from contribution. So he said, you have showings. Great. How'd the showings go? You have any offers coming in? Yeah, an offer coming in. Great. Send it over to me. I'm not being paid to look over his contract, but it takes me 2 minutes of my time, and it's going to build a long-term relationship because even though you may not get that business, I can promise you they have friends and family that they will remember to send you. So on Friday, the conversation will be the same way. So ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Lauren, it's Jesse Allen. How are you, sir?
I'm all right. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. Hey, just checking in. Did you get that offer that we talked about on Monday?
No, it never really came in.
Okay. Did you follow up with the person that was gonna write it?
You know, I really haven't, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. If you want to send over their contact information, I'd be more than happy to follow up with them to see what we can do to help them. See if we can get an offer written for you. Would that be okay?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why not.
Okay. You got any big plans for the weekend? Any showings?
I gotta go out to the lake, honestly.
Very cool.
So I guess there won't be any showings right now.
Yeah. So if somebody wanted to look over at the home over the weekend, you wouldn't be able to show it to them?
No, I guess not.
Okay.
Because we planned that like 4 months ago when we were gonna go to the lake.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, I'll tell you what, while you're at the lake, if anybody wants to see the property, I'd be more than happy to help you out with that. If you want to leave a key somewhere for me, that way you know that it's protected. That someone like a professional agent's walking through the property with them. Would that be okay?
Yeah, that'd be okay.
All right. And then again, you're just coming from contribution. It's never about me. It's always giving back to the client. And so keep that in mind. And when it comes to FSBOs and expireds, you call them every Monday, you call them every Friday. The conversation doesn't have to be long and drawn out. It's literally what, a 30, 45-second conversation. But they will remember your name after the second or third call, and they'll know who to send the business to whenever it's time. So anything you want to add?
Nope.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys watching this or not watching it, but yeah, you guys have a good day.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate you.
No problem.